All right. I think we are officially live on this Monday morning. It is August 16th. I always have to look down at my calendar because I have no idea what day it is. So today we're going to be kicking off the week with a little Monday mindset, as we always do. And today I want to talk a little bit about two things. Two things that you have to have if you want to be successful in anything that you do. But we're going to be talking about business and all the different business models out there. And you might have said to yourself, well, I want to get my current business to do better. You have to ask yourself a couple of questions. I'm going to give you those two questions. I'm really looking at these as, it's funny because my daughter's so into beach volleyball right now. I even ask her these two questions because it's really, really important. And once we get these two questions, or we get the answers, then we know, is this thing going to be successful for us? You have to ask yourself that question, or those two questions. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I am back from another long weekend. We headed out Friday afternoon, did a tournament Saturday in Wilmington, North Carolina. Then we went to White Lake, which is out in Leland, I think it is. And that's about an hour from Wilmington. And we did a tournament there yesterday, and then got home yesterday around 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish. And then just decided to relax the rest of the evening. And here we are. So a whole nother weekend full of beach volleyball. Wouldn't change that for the world. It was hot. It was really, really hot. I mean, my daughter and her partner, they did great. They placed third in their first one in Wilmington, and then the second one, they won the whole thing. And that was an interesting one because we were on home court advantage for the club that hosted it, and we were the only ones there that weren't within the club. And let me just tell you something. The girls got their taste of, well, getting a lot of fans to cheer against them. So it was pretty interesting. I think my wife counted, there was like 70 people there watching their game. Yeah, they were all rooting for the other team. And we were the outcast, which was kind of interesting. And it was just a whole nother layer to the things that can prepare you for, when you start to, get into higher level sports and stuff. It also teaches you about life and how to deal with adversity and all of that stuff. So it was pretty interesting. It was fun, but we won the whole thing. So there. So today, we're going to be kicking this thing off. Monday Mindset. Like I said, I want to cover the two things. And those two things are really, to me, the keys to unlocking success and getting results. So that's what we're going to be doing. I did want to give you a quick reminder, and it will kind of lend itself to this talk today a little bit because it's either for you or it's not for you, is niche properties. I am getting more and more and more excited about niche properties. My wife and I had a conversation in the car in our 3.5-hour road trip, and we were just talking about our own niche properties that we are currently building, but then also ones that we want to build in the future. And then just talking about the whole concept of real estate and how this is so aligned with what real estate is like, but it's digital real estate, and how to buy them and fix them up and sell them, and how to build your own from scratch. And it was just a great conversation. And my wife was really excited about one niche that we potentially might build one out in. But again, then talking about the niche properties class that we're teaching and how excited I am about that. And how a lot of people talk about going back to work on, Sunday. They're like, oh, I got to go back to work on Monday. Like, we need to figure out how to get that removed, because there's nothing worse than dreading what you're doing. But again, maybe you love what you're doing, and that's fine, and you just want to supplement your income. Niche properties. Going to be teaching a class, and that's going to start this Thursday. And we're going to do a live session on Thursday, and then we will have additional training that will go along with that. So this is our first class teaching this. So it will be live. It'll be interactive. But if you can't make it live, we are going to be giving out the recordings inside of a learning portal. If you're inside of Brand Creators Academy, you're getting access to this, so you do not have to enroll for this. If you are not in Brand Creators Academy and you want to enroll, And it's before Thursday because we are going to close registration or enrollment. If you did want to still enroll, if you haven't done so already, brandcreators.com/niche. That will take you over there. I want to talk a minute here about the word niche or niche. I had someone leave a comment, and I should probably pull up the comment, but I don't have time right now to do it. But they were like, I almost can't even listen to when you are talking about niches because you say niche, and it just drives me crazy. So I literally had someone leave a comment. They took the time to tell me that the way that I say niche it's not right. It's supposed to be niche. But then some people will argue and say, no, it's not niche, it's niche. Just depends on where you're coming from. But really, like seriously, like we have to think about that. Like, let's just think about the concept. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. So if someone is listening and they're hearing me say niche, I'm sorry, but that's how I'm going to refer to niche. All right. So, brandcreators.com/niche. All right. And we are going to be kicking that off on Thursday. It will be a live class. And also, I just wanted to let you know on that we are going to, like I said, it's going to be interactive, meaning as we go through it, if we see that there's something missing or if there's something that needs to be added because there's not enough clarity on it, we will create that training and put it inside of this course, because that's really what it is. I'm calling it a class. It's a workshop / class because it is going to be more robust than just a workshop that's 2-3 hours long. But the live version of this, the main kind of outline and the main points, we're going to go through everything, but that'll be between 2 and 3 hours. Then from there, we're going to have additional resources. We're going to have downloads. We're going to have roadmaps, all of that stuff built into this class. So again, brandcreators.com/niche, and you can go there. All right. So let's see who we got here. Oh, Ruth, what's up? Oh, where do BCA members find the link to log into the class on Thursday? Well, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, there should already be a link in there, Ruth. It should be pinned in our private group. So if you go there, you'll see the Niche Properties little banner that we created for it. And then you can click on that and that'll take you to the Zoom live room that we're going to be doing that in. But I will repost that and remind that the people that are in BCA. Your video keeps freezing and audio is cutting. Anyone else having any problems before I get going here? Okay, so it must be Patrick. The sound and video is good for me. Maybe your connection. All right, cool. So as long as we know that I've got good reception here, we'll go ahead and keep this baby rocking and rolling. Let's see. My video is fine. Okay, cool. All right, thank you, Salma. All right, cool. So let's kick off the money mindset. So here we go. You guys know how I do this. I'm going to go ahead and give it a clean intro, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. If you guys have any questions afterwards, I'll stick around for a few minutes. But we'll, and if you have any questions on the Niche Properties thing, let me know. All right. So here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to another Monday Mindset. Today, I want to talk to you about 2 keys to unlocking success and getting results. That's what I want to talk about. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because whatever you're working on right now, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. And I'm going to give you those 2 questions. And then you're the only one that's going to have these answers. Okay. But let me just say this. I just wrote an email about this because I think it's so important. And a lot of times I'm thinking through this stuff when with my daughter, who's 13, who's in competitive beach volleyball. You guys that have been listening for any period of time or watching, you guys know that she's 13 and she's, pretty hardcore into beach volleyball, enjoying it, having a great time. But with that being said, you got to ask yourself a couple questions, because if you're putting this time and effort into it, or if you want to be great at something, you have to ask yourself a couple of serious questions. And these are the same questions that I would ask if you are building a business or if you're possibly going to do a side hustle. If you don't ask these questions, you won't have the answers. And if you don't have these 2 things, well, you might not, and most likely won't stick with it, which will lead to not getting results. So the biggest thing is we have to stick to something. I think we all agree. If you stick with something long enough, it probably will work in some capacity, right? I mean, if you work out for 3 days and stop, probably not going to build muscle, probably aren't going to get toned, probably aren't going to lose weight, right? If you work out consistently for 3 days a week, for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you do a little bit of dieting. I don't mean dieting, but just like clean up what you're eating. You're not having soda and you're not having beer every night and you're not, having a high carb thing, like all of that stuff. You're probably going to get some results, right? We would agree on that. Well, the same thing goes in business. If you get excited about a business model because you genuinely are excited about it and you stick with it, chances are you're going to get results in some capacity. Okay. There's no guarantee that you're going to get rich overnight. Nothing about that, right? We know that. There's nothing saying that you're going to take up beach volleyball and become an Olympian. You can go try. It's going to take years, but you can have that target. Okay. So let's go through these questions real quick. All right. And I'm dealing with this myself all the time. Okay. And there's like seasons in our life that we have to ask ourselves these questions. Okay. What I was doing 5 years ago is different than what I'm doing today. And it's okay. Right. But the very first thing that you need to ask yourself about anything that you're doing right now and wanting to get results, wanting to spend the time here. And I'm looking at this right now with our niche properties that we're building ourselves. Okay. So I have two sides of it. Like I'm building these niche properties because I want this digital real estate. And I also want to teach people how to do it. So there's two reasons why I'm doing it. Okay. Well, the first question I have to ask myself is, Scott, are you excited about what you're doing? So right now I am recording this and I'm doing this because I want to help people and I genuinely get fired up to be with people. Right now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're like, well, you're not really with me right now, Scott. No, I am. I'm in your earbuds, right? We're together right now. We're connecting together right now. Okay. And I know that. So I get excited about that. Well, with the niche properties thing right now, I'm excited for the opportunity. Okay. I'm excited because I've done real estate. I know the power of real estate. Okay. I have an Airbnb right now. It's doing phenomenal. Would love a bunch more, but right now with the real estate market as high as it is, I'm not going to go buy more property because it's going to cost me. I'm going to overpay and then I won't get my returns. It just doesn't make sense. But the whole thing about building these niche properties, I can do that right now. And the market is booming for people that want these. So if I build one, I get recurring revenue and I'm able to potentially sell it in the future. I am excited about that. I'm also excited about the process. I love building. You guys know that are longtime listeners or been hanging out with me for any period of time. You probably know my background is in construction. I used to be in the construction business. I love taking something. I love to take a piece of land and dig it, put the footings in, put the foundation in, build the first story, second story, house, shingles, put everything else in it. I love that process. Okay. I love the process of taking an old kitchen and making it look brand new again. Okay. I get satisfaction from that, right? That's what lights me up. Now, I don't want to build houses. I don't want to do that, but I could GC it. I could be a general contractor, very similar to this digital real estate. So I'm genuinely excited about it. If I didn't have this podcast, if I didn't have the Facebook Live that I'm doing with Coffee Talks, if I didn't do any of this stuff, I'd still be doing that right now. See, that's the difference. I'm not doing this just to say I'm doing this over here and I want to teach this over here. Now, for me, because I'm in this space, I am going to teach what I'm doing right now. And to some, it will be great. They'll love it. And some are like, I'm not really interested in that. And that's fine. That's where the question lies. Is what I'm talking about with niche properties exciting to you? If it is, great, jump in, let's go. If it's not, don't. Okay? Don't. If someone emails me and says, Scott, I really don't know if this is for me. I love the idea of having recurring revenue like a rental property. I love the idea of possibly selling it in the future, but I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to go through the process. I don't really know. I'd be like, don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm not going to convince someone that's on the fence that's going to be work for them. I don't want the process to feel like work, because if it does, you won't do the second part. And that's the second question. Are you willing to commit? Are you willing to commit to the process? And I don't mean commit to the process 3 days or 3 weeks. Building a niche property takes time. It takes patience. Okay? 6 to 12 months is what we're talking about. And then from there, 18 months and then 24 months. So that's the build period before I can go, I'm going to hit my target. It's like building a piece of real estate and then saying it's going to take me 6 months to build it before I get a tenant in there to pay me. It's the same idea. Okay. But you have to commit and you have to want to have fun doing it. Right. That's the other part. If you're not, if this isn't fun for you, right? For me, it's fun. It's fun to find these niches or niches. For those of you that get annoyed when I say the word niche. I talked about that earlier before we hit record on how someone had said that it drove them crazy that I was saying niche, not niche. I don't think it matters. I think we know what we're talking about. Some say niche, some say niche. We can debate on that all day long. But what we can agree on is that real estate has been happening for years. Everyone knows if you find a house and it's in a market that is got good tenants, it's got a good area, good schools, but the house is run down. You know, if you can pick up that house for a low price, put a little bit of money in it, you can either flip it or you can rent it. We all know that. You can do the same thing with digital real estate. You go find a niche that people are already serving. But you can go, you know, I think I could get in there and I can create something and get some of that traffic. And if I do, I can get people, ad networks, to pay to display their ads on my website. It's that simple, right? And so I say, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to build in that area, in that niche, because I've already done the work to see that it can be done. And then once I get it up and running, I can go ahead and collect the rent, or I could sell it. Or another thing that I could do is I could take that property that's maybe already generating some revenue. Maybe it's getting some traffic. And I go, you know what? I could fix that up. I could get that rent up. I could sell it, or I can hold it. You can do that too. So it's so much like real estate, but I'm excited about it. I'm committed to it. So the question is, whatever you're doing, if you are so in love with starting an e-commerce store with physical products, and you want to do that because you want to sell physical products to a customer, and you want to go down that road, I've went down that road. Not saying I'm not going to go down that road again, but right now I'm taking the time out and I'm going to build niche properties. That's what I'm doing. Okay. For the next year plus, that's what I'm going to be doing. Right. So right now we got 2, we're working on 2 more. So that's 4. I don't know how many I'll have. I think the most that I'd want to have at one time is probably 8 to 10. And then maybe we'll sell 2 and then start 2 new. I don't know yet, but that's kind of where I'm thinking. But you have to ask yourself that question. Okay. Are you excited about what you're working on? And if you are, then put the blinders on and commit to the process and commit to showing up and have fun doing it. Have fun doing it. All right. So guys, that is your Monday mindset. All right. Remember, just those 2 things. Are you excited about it? Are you excited about what you're working on? Ask yourself that question. I'm asking you right now. Are you excited about what you are working on? Or are you excited about a business model that you want to commit to? Okay. And if you are, great. Go all in on that. Okay. Focus on that. Master that and fall in love with the process. I can't say that enough. If you fall in love with the process, it becomes really, really fun, exciting, and the results will follow. Okay. Because you're going to stay committed, because you're going to be excited. All right. So make sure that you ask yourself those questions. All right, guys, that is your Monday mindset. I want to thank you guys for listening. Get out there, make it happen. Take care, take action, and I'll talk to you soon. Cut. All right, guys. All right, let's see what we got here. We got any questions for me before we rock and roll on out of here? Okay, let's see. Would you recommend starting one only for 6 to 12 months? Do you mean like do it for 6 to 12 and then stop? I'm not quite sure what you mean on that one. And if you guys have any questions, drop them in there. If not, I'm going to go ahead and get on with it because, well, this whole week, I'm going to be building out all of the content for the niche properties. It's funny when you kind of go back and you kind of retrace the steps that it takes to put one of these together. You have to think differently than just going out and doing it, because I want to make sure that all of the steps are in place. So today is going to be a day of outlining the entire process, as if I was going to teach it to someone that's never heard of this. And I'm going to outline everything. And then tomorrow, I'm going to start digging in and start building out the sections of this training. Let's see. Oh, if you are starting. So if you're starting, would you recommend starting one only? Oh, I see what you're saying. So basically, would you only start one instead of starting 2 or 3? Yes, I would start one and go all in on that one for 6 to 12 months. Absolutely. And the reason why is because you're going to learn the process. You're not going to be trying to bounce back and forth between two. If you have writers, if you're going to have a writer that's going to help you write content, you can double down on all of the content that's going in on that site. So I would say, yes, I would not start another one for at least 6 months personally, because I think you're going to be busy enough with that one. And I say busy enough. I think the very initial part of this process is going to take, no more than a couple of weeks to kind of get things in place, get things built to where you're going to be able to start putting in steady content. Okay. So we're looking at like a 14-day roadmap to get to that place. Could be a little less, could be a little bit longer, but I'm looking at like a 14-day window. And then from there, it's just a matter of doubling down on that content. Okay. And yes, you can go and spend time on keyword research, and then from there, optimizing the posts and all that stuff. But then a lot of it is just going to be repeatable. And it's an hour a day would be a lot that you would have to spend. I mean, you could spend 3 hours a week if you wanted to, if you were really, really focused on just the keyword research and just, if you're not writing the content yourself. Will you be showing how to affiliate links in post for products? Yes, we will. And actually there's a couple of tools that you can use for that. I wouldn't recommend using any tools right off the bat though, to be honest with you, for affiliate stuff. I would wait on that. It just complicates things. We don't need to do that yet. But I would, and we're going to have like a little bit of a mixture that we're going to be talking about. Cause I do think that, with Google having their recent update where they're kind of, they're looking at affiliate driven review sites, and they are not de-indexing them. They're just reducing the traffic to those sites. So what we want to do is we want to be a little bit heavier on the informational side or the question based side. And then we'll have the rest of it be product based. So we're looking at like a mixture of like 70-30, but you probably could get away with 60-40. I would always lean on the side of being more than 50%. So this way here, it's not weighted one side or the other, but you never know. So that's what I would say. So again, if we're going to do 4 posts, I'd say 1 would be a product, 3 would be questions. That's kind of how I would look at it. But yes, we are going to be showing that with affiliate links and things like that. All right, awesome. So I think that's going to wrap it up. Again, guys, if you are interested in attending the upcoming class, it'll be this Thursday. Enrollment will be closing for this class. So make sure that you get in if you haven't done so already. If you are interested and if you are excited about this, because we want people that are excited, because we know that if you're excited about this, you're going to commit to it and you'll do the work, right? And again, it doesn't have to take you a ton of time. Like we can have someone that's a side hustler doing this. Doesn't have to be your full-time gig. But I would say you do want to stay committed to this process and you want to get excited. And if not, don't worry about it. Work on what you're working on right now. All right. So guys, that's it. brandcreators.com/niche. No, it's niche. NICHE. And you'll get all the details over there. But like I said, once we close down the enrollment, we will be starting the class. And then after that, we'll be reopening, but it won't be a live version of that class at this time. All right, guys. So that's it. That is going to wrap it up. Have an awesome, amazing Monday or whatever day you're watching this, but it's Monday, the time that I'm recording this. So have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.